Tony casually tossed a piece of trash, but was stunned to see a rich woman using a crane to lift a flower pot. This sight puzzled him, so he decided to go over and check it out. However, he accidentally pushed too hard and almost knocked the woman over. Fortunately, Tony reacted quickly and caught her just in time. Then he asked her why she was going to so much trouble to lift a flower pot. He could help her move it up any time, but the rich woman looked down on Tony, saying the flower pot weighed 10 pounds, and that he, a construction worker, couldn't possibly move it. Unexpectedly, Tony easily took the pot down, which shocked the staff nearby. The rich woman was even more stunned, thinking to herself how someone could move something that required a crane with just their own strength. She then enthusiastically invited Tony to her home for dinner. Seeing Tony, young and strong as an ox, she asked him if he wanted to date. This left Tony completely confused. Although the rich woman was stunningly beautiful, he was just an ordinary worker. Then he went to put the flower pot on the table and leave, but the table couldn't hold the weight of the pot, and it cracked immediately. When Tony returned to the construction site, he saw his co-workers with flushed faces, trying to lift a tile. Tony felt puzzled. Even a 3-year-old could easily handle this, but his co-workers were dumbfounded, unable to believe how strong Tony was. It turned out that just a few hours earlier, Tony was a weak brick mover. The foreman had knocked his instant noodles to the ground, thinking that Tony wasn't eating meat every day, which was why he was getting weaker, slowing down the work, and if it happened again, he'd be fired. But Tony still needed to save up $500,000 for his bride price, so he reluctantly picked up his noodles again, hoping to gain some strength. At that moment, Tony clearly heard a voice, declaring that everyone's strength, except his, would drop by 1,000 times, and he would become the strongest person in the world. But Tony thought he was hallucinating. After the rich woman witnessed Tony's strength, she immediately invited him to a candlelight dinner. But when the food arrived, Tony was once again stunned. He saw 6 hotel waiters, carefully lifting a plate of food weighing only half a pound, and even a pot of rice weighing 2 pounds, had to be carried by 3 people together. It turned out that when everyone's strength had dropped, eating 10 grains of rice made someone a competitive eater. Meanwhile, Tony still didn't realize his own strength hadn't diminished. He walked into the restaurant and ordered 3 dishes and 2 bowls of rice, which left the diners around him in shock. But when the waiters brought the rice, Tony was dumbfounded. He counted the bowl, and it barely had 10 grains of rice. He immediately began cursing. The rich woman awkwardly tried to calm him down. As Tony became furious, the restaurant manager came over. The waiter quickly complained to the manager. After hearing this, the manager immediately assumed Tony was causing trouble, and approached to explain that 10 grains of rice would be enough for a cow, and he had already received 20 grains. Upon hearing this, Tony felt like he had wasted his last 20 years. The rich woman also nodded in agreement with the manager's explanation. Tony then demanded a big pot of rice. The manager replied that if Tony could finish the whole pot, he would waive the bill. Tony disdainfully grabbed the big pot and began mixing in the side dishes before eating like crazy. This left everyone in the restaurant stunned. Even the rich woman was deeply impressed by Tony's appetite and couldn't help but walk up to him and kiss him, saying she wanted to have children with him. This scared Tony so much that he quickly drank some water to calm himself down. Then he pretended to take a call and slipped out.